Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have all of you here, and it's time for another My Europe, this time Hungary. I am Felix Schneider, your host tonight, and I am excited to welcome Daniel from Hungary.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Quick question before we dive into all the exciting organizational stuff and then the exciting stuff about Hungary. Who here has already been to a My Europe session? This is already the time to test your emoji reactions. So if you've been, just put an emoji in there throughout the reactions. Perfect. And since we want everyone to test them, who here has not been to a My Europe session? All right, perfect. Now we know your emojis work and we know who here has already been there and who not. And for all of you who've never been here, and of course, everyone who has been here before, great to have you here. To give you a quick rundown about My Europe. My Europe is an initiative by Europe Direct Aachen and is bringing Europe closer together, and that since 5 years. The idea is to give young Europeans a stage to present their countries, share stories, and maybe tell you the stuff that you will not find anywhere except from the locals. We try that not with dry statistics or any tourism agenda. It's the real people, real stories, and an honest view about the country. Before we finally and properly get to meet our guest Daniel, first of all, a huge shout out to the rest of the partners that make all of this possible. The Institut Français Aachen, the Karlspreis Foundation, the Karlspreis Academy, and the Europe Direct Centers in Kreis Gütersloh, Dortmund, Duisburg, and Bocholt. Now that that's done, here is how it works today. Daniel will share about various topics to introduce and show the different exciting sides of Hungary. And in between, we will have some interactive parts. And whenever you have a question, just type it in the chat and we will get to it. The organizational stuff is done. So let's get rolling. And Daniel, before you introduce yourself properly, are you up for a couple rapid questions to break the ice?
Of course,
Perfect. Then I'll give you two options. You just choose one and we move on to the next one. So, is it texting or talking?
uh, talking.
Your favorite day of the week?
Uh, Sunday.
Nice. Goulash or langosh?
Langos, 100%.
Rave or rock?
Rave.
Water polo or football?
Football.
And home office or office?
Home office. Yeah.
Okay, and for the last one, there we are with Daniel. For the last one, your top three things to take with you when you only have 48 hours in Budapest you're visiting. So that may be the insider tip for everyone who here who wants to visit.
Um, Three things. Okay, so first of all, you need to bring with you. You don't have to bring food with you because we have great food. That's the first thing.
Oh, oh.
You don't need to bring alcohol with you because we also have that. And the third thing is you need to bring openness with you. That's my these are my recommendations.
Love it. We will take them with you or not take them with you with us. And with that, we know what to bring. Now the stage is yours. I'll stop the screen sharing, and we're excited to get to know you and get to know Hungary.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you can see it, uh, the presentation. Yes. So once again, thank you for everyone who joined today's My Europe session. I'm Dániel Kovács, founder of Forum Europaeum, a pan-European media outlet based in Hungary. And today I would like to speak about my homeland, Hungary. Um, so first of all, moving to our next slide. What do you think? What's the first idea that comes up for you across Europe about Hungary? Uh, in the past couple of years, it might not have been that way, but normally we are a part of Europe and a part of the West. However, an interesting thing is that we Hungarians have a so-called dual identity, which can be seen in the following things. Um, so I don't know if you know it or not, but we originally came from the Ural Mountains, from today's Russia, as a nomadic um, people, as a nomadic nation, and we settled in the Carpathian Basin 1,000 years ago, and we became a part of the West, I would say, when our very first king, the so-called Stephen the first, and the saint, was crowned, and since that, we are labeled as a part of the West and Europe. However, I would say that these two identities, identity that is closer to the West, which is often labeled Pannon identity, and the identity which is closer to the East, called the Hunnic identity, can be seen in today's environment as well. And a very recent topic um, can be the recent elections. I wouldn't like to talk that much about it, but the main stake of the elections was the following: will Hungary be a part of the West or the East? And finally, we chose West, and we will see what happens in the future. But it was definitely a an election uh, which was crucial not just for our homeland, Hungary, but also for Europe and maybe also the whole world, because Barack Obama said that it was a win for the democracy in the whole world.
Can I ask a question in between? Mm, because you told me about the people going on the streets after the election. So how was the vibe? I mean, you just mentioned a few sentences, and I could feel the energy. So how was it after the election when you knew the results?
Okay, so first of all, uh, from what I've seen in my life, I'm 20 years old. Uh, I've only seen Hungarian people being passionate about football, and that's all. We lost the World Cup twice. Uh, we had a golden team, and we never won the World Cup. And I think that during the election, I mean, after the election, when the results were 100% sure, and yes, we got the results, then I saw an euphoric atmosphere in Budapest, which cannot be compared to anything I've seen in my whole life. It was crazy, and it was interesting because we saw not just young people, but every single generation, and not just every single generation, but everyone, including police officers, members of the ambulance, I would say, everyone in the whole street was celebrating this moment. Uh, so yes, I can say that it was a once in a lifetime moment for me, at least, because as I told you, I'm 20 years old. uh, my generation never saw anyone as a leader besides Viktor Orban, and regardless how bad or good he was, I don't think that it was healthy. So that's why the atmosphere was so great. So yes. Yeah, I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
you're muted.
Yes.
Not like politics in the current state in a lot of countries more divide than unify, but that sounds like a very unifying election.
Yes, because I wouldn't even call it an election, as I said before. It was a referendum between choosing we chose between West and East. It wasn't about the people, you know. We did not vote for Peter Magyar, in my opinion, but for a Western and European Hungary. That's all. That's all.
Wonderful. Thanks for letting me chip in.
Uh, and yes, we can move to our next slide. Uh, I forgot to mention that yes, Hungarians are passionate about football, but the second thing can be, I would say, food. Uh, and there's a common saying in Hungarian, a phrase which says, "What I eat is mine." So we have this this way of thinking. People are are not scared to pay for food. That's it. And connected to that, our country's name is Hungary. It's coming from the Hunnic Empire, as I mentioned, also a connection to the east. Um, but it's very similar to the word Hungary. And a very common joke among foreigners is that they ask us, after we say that we are Hungarian, they ask us, "Are you hungry?" And we like this joke a lot. No, we don't, but still. And moving to the food we eat, it's often claimed by other nations as well. But I would say that the original ones are always Hungarian among these. So first of all, the most known Hungarian dish, or yes, dish or food is the goulash, which I personally don't like. Uh, but this is the most famous one. But for example, in Austria, they claim that they are the inventors. I don't know. The second one is langos, which is my personal favorite. Um, I think that uh, it's a different type of, I would say, pizza. I would compare it to that, but it's more, I would say, practical in many ways. So it's not that fancy. We also have the Kürtös Kovács. I don't know how to translate it in English. I looked up for it. I could not. As you see it, there's a Hungarian flag and this Szekler or Székely flag on it. It shows that it's common not just in Hungary but also in Romania and also in New York, everywhere in the world. It's a rather sweet type of. It's not a food but a snack, I would say. And the last one is the so-called palacsinta, which can be compared to the pancake in English, uh, and we fill it with multiple um, things, Nutella and other um, fillings. So yes, and moving to our next slide, we have the so-called inventions. Uh, and we will move to another topic from this slide as well. But first of all, I don't know if you know these inventions. Uh, I hope you do. Uh, the most famous one, I would say, is the so-called Rubik's Cube, which was invented by Ernő Rubik. And it's a logical game. Me personally, I'm not. I was never able to solve it. Uh, The other one is the so-called ballpoint pen, which we use every day. And the last one I would like to show you is not other than the so-called uh, Turk, or the Turkish man. Uh, from this picture, I don't know if you can guess it, but it's actually connected to chess. And it was an invention of a Hungarian man, and it was basically the first so-called robot. Uh, uh, so a guy was in the box, but actually a robot uh, a Turkish man was moving the chessboard, and it was a great invention. And he beat many people with this. And you can have a question in your mind: why is he a Turk um, uh, as a robot? It may be because Hungary had a crazy history, I would say. So we see it today, but during its history, its territory was forming and moving, and everything was happening with it. And the Turkish influence can be uh, seen even today in Hungary. For example, if you come to Budapest, you will be able to attend many of these so-called Turkish baths as well. And yes, but many ways Hungary is seen as like a very homogeneous country and society. However, I would like to say that it's not. We Hungarians are one of the most mixed, uh, I would say, people or nation, because we are in a sea of Slavs, as many history books in Hungary write it. We are in a sea of Slavs and Germans, so it's kind of a mix of all of these people. And here you can see what it caused in the Carpathian Basin. So we are still everywhere. Uh, but actually, no one speaks about the fact that there are minorities in Hungary as well. Romanian people, the Germans have also a great amount of people in Hungary, and they are an integral part of the society. Romani people are also a very integral part, and the last part is the Jewish community, which is actually the second largest in Europe, in Hungary. But according to some data, it will be the largest in all of Europe. So yes.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And I mean, you have covered so many different topics. So I'm sure we will be flooded with questions. At least I can speak for myself. I have a couple. So let's dive into that after. We have a little interactive break because Hungary actually is in some very, very exciting rankings. And Daniel, if you could stop sharing the
Of
screen.
course, of course.
Um, Perfect, thanks a lot. And I would like to all invite you to join in the game spot, let's say, is the chat. So I will tell you about which ranking we are talking. And you type the ranking where you think Hungary is placed in that ranking. They have different topics. And you type it in the chat, and then I will give you the answer. And we will start with the ranking of the world's funniest nations. Where do you think Europe, Hungary is placed in the ranking of the world's funniest nations? Just type it in the chat, a number between 1 and, well, I think about 176, or I will give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Okay, we have here a rank 3, a rank 57, 4, 13. So it's very, very various attempts. The best so far we have had is 3, and the worst is 67. So we have quite the range here. But overall, Hungary is already, well, assumed to be in the top third of the funniest nations. I think that's already good. Okay, but I have an answer for you, and an answer with a couple of side informations. So Hungary is actually ranking number 10 in the world's funniest nations. This is based on a scientific study that was first concluded in 2003. And the iteration where we have the numbers now is from about 6,000 participants. So it is not globally represented, but they have people from all over the world, and based on a scientific study. And what's very important, I mean, Hungary is top 10 in overall humor, but Hungary is actually world number one for, in the study, they call it aggressive humor, which is characterized by sarcasm, teasing, and ridiculing humor. And so Hungary, therefore, the world's funniest nation if you like sarcasm and ridiculing someone. Okay. The number one is Czech Republic, and number two is Portugal, which we had in my Europe last month, by the way. All right, we go on to the next ranking. Where do you think Hungary ranks in the number of Nobel Prize winners? Okay, we have here started 35, then we have a number 9, number 5, number 7. Okay, so the range is quite wide again, 25. Okay, so we'll wait, let's say, another 10 to 15 seconds, and then you will get the answer. And then we'll move on to our last guessing, and well, plenty of space for your questions. On number 2. Okay, okay, okay. So let's wrap it up. On the global ranking, when it comes to the number of Nobel Prize winners, Hungary actually ranks at number 14. So number 14 is really, really good, really high ranking. And what's interesting here is that Hungary, based on the population, is highly overrepresented when it comes to Nobel Prize winners. So the per capita Nobel Prize winners, their Hungary is even higher up. And interestingly, Hungary won Nobel Prizes in every field except peace. And the latest were 2025 for literature and 2023 for physics. So now we go off to probably the wildest guessing game. When we speak of capitals of the world's countries, which one do you think has the most number of hot springs? I mean, there are a couple countries who are known for hot springs, of course. There are no wrong answers. So if just one city comes to your mind, just put it in there. So far, we have twice Budapest, we have Rome, we have Athens. I will wait for another 10 to 15 seconds and then we will continue the journey here. Reykjavik, definitely Iceland hot springs, clear cut. Then the answer of which capital in the world has the most hot springs in the world is actually Budapest. Budapest has the most hot springs in the world, and we had to end with a question where Budapest wins. And I mean, world number one in hot springs and aggressive humor. So I think Budapest just sounds like an amazing time. All right. That for the small interactive part. And we have a bit of time left, and I think a couple more stories to be told. But we are now in the more, let's say, open discussion. So if you have any questions, type them in the chat or topics you want to talk about. So just put it in, and then we will, well, see what insights Daniel can give us. And we have here a reaction by Anna Louise. Anna Louise, what's your question? What's your idea?
Yes, I do have a question, Daniel. I've been to Budapest, I think 2 years ago, actually for the network meeting of Europe Direct. So I got to know the colleagues in Budapest too. And I was completely overwhelmed with the language. There was nothing I could orient myself with. I mean, the word police is like the same or similar in every language. And then there comes Hungarian, and I was like, what? It was something like, correct me, but something in the way of rendersek.
Yes, that's correct.
How? And I'm just asking myself, do you feel the same in the other way? Because there's no similarity between Hungarian and Middle European languages. How do you go through Europe? How do you do that?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. So, first of all, you need to know that the Hungarian is one of the languages, besides Estonian and Finnish, which are the Uralic languages, Finno-Ugric languages that we are said to be related to, and I believe in this as well. But we can even compare them with our language, and because of the fact that we don't speak an Indo-European language, the whole logic is completely different, and there's it might be the reason why many Hungarians, for example, the generation of my parents, did not speak any language at all. So if I'm thinking about my relatives, besides those who live abroad, no one really speaks other languages than Hungarian. Maybe Russian because uh, it was mandatory to learn it, but besides that, nothing. But I think my generation does not feel that. But for example, from a personal viewpoint, I study other languages from English, if you know what I mean. So when I studied Spanish, I studied it like in a comparative way with English, not with Hungarian, because I can translate it way easier. I can translate Spanish to English way easier than Spanish to Hungarian. So these are the differences, I would say.
Thanks for the insight.
Thank you there. And from Chris, we have some trivia information, which is always welcome here. That it says that apparently there are 52 words for love. So, true or not?
It can be true. Like our language is so I would say flexible in many ways, that it can easily happen easily, uh, and not counting the words that are used in Transylvania by Hungarians.
Mm.
uh, it's crazy. So that there are some Hungarian words that I don't understand when I speak with someone from Transylvania or the Slovakian territories that were part of Hungary before.
Based on that, I think one thing Hungarian and German have in common is the possibility to create endless words, right? I think you have some very long Hungarian words as well.
Yes, yes.
Are there any more questions?
Uh, there's one question in the comment or the chat. People in every country take pride in different things. What do people in Hungary take pride in? I'm in my work environment at the moment, so I can. Okay, so in my opinion, the to be honest, the Hungarians are proud about the fact that they can solve every situation some way, even if it's not legal, I would say. But we say that we, how should I translate it? We will solve it in a smart way. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about what makes Hungarians proud, to be honest.
Nice. Thank you for that. Okay, the Chris is absolutely right. You did invent the Rubik's Cube. Okay, since the time we are waiting for a question, I'll chip one in as well, because one thing that you said to me during our first meeting that really struck me was I think it was a survey that you told me about how where people are feeling more not belong, more related to their country, to their city, or to Europe. And the results from Budapest were quite extraordinary, weren't they? Maybe you have some insights there, because that was amazing.
Of course, actually, there was a post about it on the Instagram account of the Europe magazine, as far as I remember, um, about the fact that there was a survey in which all over Europe, the make creators of the survey asked the people, uh, with which what do you identify yourself with? So there was three options: the country, the region, and Europe. And of course, in most of the time, especially in Eastern Europe, people identify themselves with their countries. In Western Europe, many times with the regions, for example, in Bavaria. But the only place where people identified themselves as a European was actually Hungary, and inside Hungary, Budapest. And from what I've seen, also the county surrounding Budapest, the Pest county. And it's of course a contradictory thing, because in the last few years, when we saw the media, the only thing we could read is that Hungary is blocking the EU in multiple ways, and there were even rumors that we might leave the European Union many times. Uh, and despite that, Budapest is one of the most liberal and pro-European cities in Europe, if not the most European one. Um, so yes.
The right side, or well, the correct side won. While hearing that, did any of you have any questions? And Chris has one. Yes, feel free.
Yes, hello, Daniel. Very nice to meet you, and thank you, Felix, for organising this event. I take I think many people took great interest on the 12th of April, and I knew about it last year. That was the date, and my friend Magdalena, she was in Hungary last year, and actually spoke to Peter Magyar. So I guess you were in Budapest, and I mean the films. It's absolutely fantastic to see how the people were so happy and so excited. Very, very moving. So, and I think it's done a lot for the rest of Europe, particularly, let's say, the far right parties. And so, where were you? how do you feel about it all, and how do you see the future, the immediate future?
Thank you very much for your question. I really appreciate it. So we were at the TISA party's event where people waited for the event, and where, for example, the famous video happened was recorded when our new upcoming health minister started to dance out of nowhere. It was like we saw it, and yes, we waited there. We also as people we made interviews, we recorded the video there, and yes, actually a very interesting thing is that when only the 3% of the votes were counted, Fidesz was leading with more than 10%, and I was like, I will move from Hungary, but no, then the gap became closer and closer, and yeah, finally we uh, uh, changed our government. And what will happen in the near future? That's a great question. I would say that in Hungary there many newspapers in Europe portrayed Peter Magyar as a very liberal, very, I would say, progressive figure. And of course, in many ways, he's way more progressive than Viktor Orban was. However, we still have a, I would say, conservative liberal government, um, which is in the right wing of the European People's Party. And yes, we look forward the new government. It's most positions are already announced, if it in the context of the ministers, and we will see what happens. And if we try to think about the whole election in a European context, because as you said, and everyone uh, saw the election in this way, I think that the so-called far right or the Eurosceptic or sovereignist parties lost something big, because of course Hungary is not a big country, and if we see its economy and its population, it shouldn't be that influential as it was. However, Orban was a so central figure, especially if we talk about ideology, that and of course, and besides that, his model was like he was the role model for these parties, and with him failing, made the whole, I would say, group a bit shaky. So we will see. And if you ask me, I don't think that he will have a future in politics. In Hungary, they are actually spreading hoax that Orban will be the next president of the European Commission. We will see if that happens. And in Hungary, many people believe that. I don't know how, but we will see. So all in all, I don't think that there will be a future for him, especially because of the fact that the TISA government will amend the constitution in a way that there will be a two-term limit for a prime minister to serve. Therefore, Orban can't be the prime minister anymore. And thank you very much once again for your question.
I have one following on to that, and we are here to get to know Hungary, but also to get to know you. And you have founded a media company, and you are running around and interviewing on demonstrations and all the media stuff. From what we could hear from all over Europe, in Hungary it was quite state controlled, or a bit like, but now that changes. So I guess for you in your work, things will change as well, right?
Yes, of course. We were targeted by the government as well. We were after we won the Charlemagne Prize last year. Uh, the next day, I woke up, I saw my phone and saw the news, and my face was there, and the title was "The servants of Peter Magyar have won the prize." I was like Thank you. Yes, but I think that if we speak about the media space in the urban era, we can say that quality managed to beat quantity, because the I would say that 70% of the media um, was owned by the government, or figures close to the government. However, their quality was so bad that no one watched these, and therefore voices of the opposition or critical voices could also be heard during this period. But of course, it will be a way, I would say, more free and more calm period, because especially in this last term, journalists were targeted a lot. They were even like heard their phone calls with different softwares. So yes, it was interesting.
Good times ahead. And good questions ahead. I think Magdalena Williams from the National Council of EMUK has a question. Please.
Yes, I think most people want to know what tools Peter Magyar has to get back some of the corruptly accumulated riches, and whether there is any way that you think there will be a prosecution following to some of the people. I know that people are saving their riches to Dubai and all over the world. I don't know what the chances are of an actual keeping people to account.
Thank you very much for your question. So this question was highly dependent on how much mandates TISA will receive. In the end, it received a two-third majority, which gives the party the power and the government the power to amend the constitution, which is basically, by the way, is not even called a constitution in Hungary. It's more like, I can translate it, a fundamental law, I would say, or Grundgesetz in German. And yes, they can amend it. That's one thing, because otherwise the situation would have been very similar to what happened in Poland. But I think that now they have the will to do it, because that was the only thing. When Orban won in 2010, they also said that they will put the socialists to prison, or at least there will be cases against them. In the end, there was not. And the main reason, in my opinion, was the fact that maybe not in 2010, but at least at once they were one team. Many of the members of the current Fidesz were secretariats in the Communist Party, by the way. Yes, but the TISA government, despite the fact that Peter Magyar came from the Fidesz itself, besides him, most of the people are not connected to politics in any way. And I think that because of that, they will have the will and the power as well to get back the stolen funds. Yeah, the main case you spoke about is our former leader of the Hungarian National Bank, who stole billions of forints and went to Dubai. But I think that we will be able to make them come home from Dubai as well. So yes.
Thanks a lot. And I have just one quick addition to the thank you for organizing by Chris. That needs to be directed towards the Europe Direct Aachen team. And of course, Daniel and I'm just happy to direct the thank yous and to host. And therefore, big thank you and shout out to Europe Direct when we have the chance right now. Do we have a current pressing question? Because otherwise, I have one more small interactive part. And this one is about getting to know Hungary in a little other way. Let's call it that, because every country has their sayings. And when you translate those sayings into another language, most of the times they don't make any sense at all. So I think every German speaker here understands when I say I think my pig whistles, but every non-German speaker here will just say, what the hell is he talking about? And I have a few sayings that are based on Hungary. And I mean, I can't say from which region they come, so I just hope you know them, Daniel. But I confirmed they are sayings used in Hungary. And the first one, and let's make a game out of it. You can all guess what it means, and type it in the chat, or of course, if you want to take a guess here, join us in for the guess. And the first one is, why are you giving drinks to the mice? It's translated, so in Hungarian it might sound a little bit different. I am giving you that also and a little bit bigger. Do we have any guesses? Do you know it, Daniel?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Nice. Okay, we want at least one or two more guesses, I'd say. Then we will show and tell what it is.
Why are you praising someone when in fact they've done something bad?
Okay.
I don't know.
We need one more guess before we tell you.
I was thinking something in the way of, well, I only came up with a German one, pearls before pigs, wasting something good on something that doesn't deserve it. But Chris has a nice guess too.
Do you want to do the honors, Daniel?
Of course.
So what does it mean?
What does it mean? So I can tell it?
Yes, please.
It means, why are you crying, right? Yeah. Yes.
It's so adorable. Thanks a lot. Okay. I have another one. What about this fence is not made from sausage? So Daniel is laughing, so he knows it. Do we have guesses? This fence is not, or the fence is not made from sausage. We want at least one guess. Just go for it, straight from the hip.
Perhaps this fence is badly made. It's going to fall down. It's going to break.
Okay, that's a direction. Let's say more like 10 to 15 more seconds. Okay, thank you very much, Magdalena. She is speaking Hungarian, so hold back, please. I think we won't have that many more. There is one. There is one guess, please.
Yeah, maybe like the German we are not made of from sugar. So like you are more tough. Things are more tough than look like.
That's a very interesting one as well. Do you want to open it up, Daniel?
Yes, of course. It actually means that uh, uh, so I can tell it only this way. It's always used in this context. So, for example, if I would tell someone that, oh, I would like to move abroad from Hungary to, for example, Austria, they will always say that, oh, you think that the fence is made from sausages there? So it's about thinking that something is perfect somewhere
Mhm.
else, while it's not. And it's always used in the context of young Hungarians wanting to move abroad and their parents telling them that, oh, the fence is not made from sausages there, so don't think that everything will be perfect. So that's how we use it. Yes.
So the
Nice.
English to that would be the grass is always, the grass is not, grass is always greener on the other side. Something in that sense.
It's not as good as it seems. Okay, do we want to go for our last one? Wonderful. Then, what does you can spread them on bread mean? We are waiting for the guesses. Just your first ideas. It's no competition and there are no wrong answers, just funny and good ones. You can smoke him in a pipe. You can't take something serious on jump with volume. Okay, very interesting. Let's get at least one more guess and then we will tell you.
Spread him on a bed.
Oh, he's not very strong in his opinion. Okay, Daniel. Oh, Chris, please.
Yeah, possibly that he can be easily persuaded.
Yeah, okay. So we haven't had the correct one yet. So do you want to explain it, Daniel?
It's actually close. So it means that someone is a yes man. So it's very easy to make him say yes. And this is very common. We have other words, which, for example, bólogató János, which can be translated to yes man. And we also name the kings with this. So, for example, Dobzse László, sorry, László, who always said Dobzse Dobzse, which in I don't know which Slavic language. I think he came from Poland, but he always said as well that yes, yes for everything, and it means this that someone can be easily influenced.
Thanks a lot. And after this small excursion, we are closing in on the finishing straight. So I'd say there's room for one more question, and then of course the ending words or last words from Daniel. So do we have any last question? Otherwise, Chris has one. Let's go.
So Daniel, will you be continuing with your forum Europaeum? I have seen you on Instagram. And, so I recognize you when you appeared here. And it's good. It's good that you're reporting from Budapest, from Hungary. There's another chap, very good. He's I think he's Welsh or Northern Irish, Caolin. I'll write his name there, and you may meet him. But are you carrying on? Because you're doing a good job.
Of course, and thank you very much. Yes, we would like to continue, and we would like to move back to the European context from the Hungarian one because we could only post about Hungary, but not because of the fact that we wanted to, but we saw that when we went to Reuters, Euronews, Politico, there were only news about Hungary. So when the Danish election happened, for example, we completely missed it because there were only articles about our foreign minister talking with Mr. Lavrov. So yes, and we would like to continue, and we would also like to focus more on culture because we believe that culture should influence politics and not the other way around. So yes, and thank you very much once again.
Thanks for the question. And I'd say before we wrap things up, head over to Daniel if you have some more things that you want to tell us. Or say goodbye.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm really happy that this many people joined. I really appreciate it. For me, actually, it was quite hard to organize the whole thing because I had to. I'm actually in Brussels currently. I had to fly, and my plane was changed at like 9 p.m. yesterday. So they told me at 9 p.m. yesterday that I should buy a ticket to 6 a.m. instead of the 9 a.m. plane. So it was crazy, but regardless, I was really happy to join. I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much for your great questions. Thank you, Felix, for the great moderation, and thank you for the Europe Direct Action for organizing this whole thing. And yes, I just would like to say thank you very much. And if you have any more questions, then we are happy to answer it on our Forum Europaeum Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or email as well. So yes, thank you very much.
And thanks to you for sharing the stories, for preparing all the contents, and taking the time, even from Brussels, to join us here and, well, bringing Europe closer together. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the whole Europe Direct team and all the partners. And if you want to join one or maybe even more my Europe sessions, just make sure you follow us on Europe Direct _Aachen on Instagram, or keep posted on the My Europe website, because there we will in the near future disclose the next session that will be coming up. There is plannings behind the scenes going on. So thank you all for joining in, and I wish you an amazing Wednesday and a rest of a sunny week.